The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Leela Rhodes and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's event, Masterclass Getting Started with AWS DevOps, and presenting today's topic is Brian Wu. Brian has 19 years of consulting experience in information technology industry, with his rich training experience within the IT industry, covering a wide range of skills and knowledge from data center and cloud infrastructure to more recently, cloud architecting and implementation. He has been training up the enterprises in all industry level verticals to help their adoption of cloud technology. Now, please bear in mind that this is still just an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored towards your specific requirements. If you're interested in further discussion about any of those, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at www.netcomlearning.com. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adopting change, and driving growth. And we do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We have 9 practice areas in which we specialize, and they encompass people, process, and technology training. And today's presentation is from the cloud practice area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio for cloud courses, and our upcoming classes include various trainings on DevOps, engineering on AWS, AWS Technical Essentials, Cloud Practitioner, Architecting on AWS, Security Essentials, and more. And our private training to teams is also available, and those learning plans can be customized to the specific needs of each audience. You can also access a variety of cloud marketing assets, such as the free 1-hour trainings, free on-demand trainings, and blogs by clicking on the available webinar handout. And these offerings can also be found with a simple search on our website, www.netcomlearning.com. In this event, we will learn the basic practices to help your team master the most common DevOps patterns, practices, and tools required to develop, deploy, and maintain applications and services at high velocity on AWS. Now, I'll just give you an overview of the logistics before we get started today. To start with, you have the option to adjust the window size to your liking. You can simply hit the escape key and find the Zoom button on the top left corner of your GoToWebinar viewer. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters, but you can feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters in the questions panel, and we will address them at the end of the session today. And now I'm going to go ahead and pass the time over to Brian to present today's topic. Brian, thank you so much for joining us. You should be able to share your screen.
Yeah, can you see my screen now?
I can see your beautiful face, but not your screen.
Okay, thank you very much. All right.
There we go.
Let's take a look on today's agenda. Hello everyone. Actually, today we are going to talk about DevOps. First of all, we introduce what is DevOps in AWS point of view, Amazon point of view, and then we understand the DevOps culture, techniques, the tools, the process related to AWS Cloud, and then we take a look on what is infrastructure automation. Automation is not only important, but also is key to use AWS Cloud. And then by using automation, one key service is CloudFormation. I will show you some demo related to CloudFormation, related to microservice, related to DevOps, and the tools in the code family. So we will take a look on what is CloudFormation template, parameter, stack, update, import resources, and also drift detection. So around 1 hour later, at around 11, we will take a short break. So you can ask any question during the webinar, and I'll answer your question at the end. So what is DevOps? If you ask 100 people, you may got 100 different answers. Every people define DevOps differently. But here we take a look on what Amazon, what Adabas think about DevOps. Before the DevOps era, all right, actually people developed a new application maybe 20, 15 years before Amazon.com. They still use the big giant web application, UC++, to write their application. So the developer, maybe a big team, 30 people, 100 people, finish development, all right, and then pass to the operator, the infrastructure guy, to operate, to monitor, to run those applications. And maybe after a few weeks or even months, they find some bug, all right, and then talk to the developer. The developer maybe already forgot those things, take a look on the comment, try to fix the bug. So the life cycle is very long. So at that time, 15, 20 years before, almost every 3 months, Amazon released the new features. So it is not good in nowadays. In your mobile application, you got update every day or a few hours. And really, I got some project, okay, around 10 years before, 8 years before. Even if you go through all the developer and then the operator, and at last go to security team and shut down by security team, because at the end we may find some security bugs, holes, whatever. All right, so shut down the whole project. So this is not good, not scalable, not fast enough to adapt to world, right? So DevOps in Amazon and AWS point of view is a combination of the cultural philosophy, as people thinking, and then practice related to process, and then tools, 3 major components, and then combined together related to software development, like the web application or a lot other IT operation technology. And then this practice help us to deliver our new features and fix the bug much quicker to our user and together with maybe our internal staff, all right, in a high velocity way. And as you can see here in DevOps, we can have many different stages. First of all, we need to plan what are we going to use, and then the cultural, the people's thinking, and then code. Now, not just application code. As we all know, application, you have your application code running Python, Ruby, Java, .NET, doesn't matter. But also the infrastructure. The infrastructure, we can use the code to create, we call it IAC, infrastructure as code. Use code to create the whole infrastructure. And then we build our artifact. Many years before, it might be some compiled file. If you're using .NET, then maybe DLL. If you're writing Java, maybe Java. So nowadays, a lot of people build the container image to run the containerized application. And of course, test is very important. We better test 100% of the code, test with the production scale, production size, should be identical to the environment, the testing and production. And then release to roll out to your production. Okay, could be in-place upgrade, could be blue-green deployment, immutable. So it is your choice. We got so many deploy strategy, right? And then finally, the operator operate, and then keep monitor and improve and keep going the life cycle. So maybe the life cycle is so short, every few days, every hours, a few hours, then we can release our new features, fix the bugs in a very high velocity way to adapt the change. So that's the general concept of DevOps. And take a look on Amazon experience. As I mentioned before, many years before, they have big giant application, still web application database. So in their website, as you see in Amazon, you have many components, many applications. Like they have their homepage, they have the product. Suppose you want to buy a notebook, a laptop, okay, and you take a look on other people's comment. and the statistic. So and you may find something very good and put into shopping cart. Later on, you have budget, you check out, you paste the order, and then delivery, inventory. So in a big giant application, it is really hard to change. Okay, so we call it traditional application monolithic. Okay, it does everything. So it is very hard to change, hard to move, hard to scale. One thing fail affect the others. So the monolithic challenge, just like many other company, is a single big giant platform. So if you use Python, Ruby, all the programming language should be similar, should also use the same version, and then a long life cycle. All right, a few months to roll out the new features, new update, and then it is very hard to scale. And anything fail, suppose one component fail, affect the whole server. All right, and then very hard to find the bug. Okay, because so many things there, and then a lot of failure could affect other application, other component. So by using DevOps, we try to break it down from a monolithic to microservice. Okay, as you can see here, the microservice, we will talk about microservice. I will show you some demo related to microservice later, but they work independently. Break it down to a small part. So by using that, there are so many advantages. The first thing is we can use different database. Say, for example, Amazon, at the beginning years, they save everything in Oracle. All right. So maybe this is not really good for shopping cart, for statistic. However, by breaking them down, we can actually different component use different database. Maybe some of them use NoSQL database, some other use the graph database, and of course the order inventory we still use relational database. So the service need to talk to each other. We will go back to microservice a bit later. So step by step, break them down, and then each component can use different technology. Maybe some of them still use virtual machine, but some other we can use serverless technology, or some other we can use different language, containerized application, so flexible. So break down into small team. So let's take a look on understanding the DevOps culture and technique in AWS Cloud. So there are three major components related to DevOps. First of all is cultural change. Okay, from big giant application, big team, we break them down. So the company, if you already have many monolithic application, there is really change in people, how we think, philosophy, and then practice. We have a few practice related to DevOps, like infrastructure as code, like CI/CD. I will do some demo to you related to CI/CD, and then microservice and monitoring. All right. So this is some of the major practice in the modern DevOps area. And then tools. I would say tools is the less important. Okay, you can use all the tools from AWS, or you can actually use all the tools from third party, or you can mix together. Okay, maybe some tools are use AWS, some tools are use third party. The most important is you're happy with your life cycle, your pipeline. All right, so let's take a look on the first thing, the culture related to DevOps. The DevOps culture, I mean, this is the first area. And the culture related to DevOps is try to remove the barriers. Okay, so a big team is no longer very good. So we try to break them into a small team. Think about if you have 30, 40 people in a big giant team. Suppose you want to arrange a meeting. It is very hard to gather all the people together. And then there are too many connections. If the team is so small, you got only 3, 4 people, it is very easy for you to have the meeting. All right. So break down into a small team. And then we join the developer and operator together. That's what we say DevOps. Developer and operator join together. Okay. Instead of developer do all the things and pass to other team the operator. So it is very important sentence when I really deliver the DevOps training. We keep every day over and over talk about that. The most important is people, your thinking, and then people over process over tools. Okay, the mindset change is most important, and then we can select which DevOps process, and then tools least important once again. So let's take a look on the example of cultural change. Think about the collaboration and communication. Big giant team, big giant dev team, and then ops team is no longer good. As I mentioned, the long life cycle, too many communication channel. So in the experience of Amazon, they break down into small team, around 4 people, 3, 4, 5 people in the same team, and then some developer and some operator together, okay, in a small project, and they got their ownership. All right, they just focus on a small features. Let's say before the big giant application, some team focus on the shopping cart, some team focus on the inventory, some team focus on actually the order, and then so and so forth. So we got different team work together. So it's easier to have the meeting, and then you can also, nowadays we talk about dev setup, add some security guy in between. All right, so they also have ownership in that project. So we say 2 pizza team join together, they have full ownership, they have full accountability, and then focus on innovative. So that's the culture different comparing with 10, 20 years before. And next, the practice, or we say process, okay, people over process over tools, right? So for the process, we implement these techniques or practice. So first of all, microservice. Next, I'm going to show you a little bit demo related to microservice. And then we can use the CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous delivery. And some other people will say continuous deployment. There is a bit different between the continuous delivery and continuous deployment. Later on, we will talk about that. And then at the last of this webinar, I will show you what is infrastructure as code. And then monitoring is also very important. Suppose something goes wrong, our web application, our database, our infrastructure, we need to identify and fix those issues. So the communication is different, all right? Instead of big developer team, big operation team, break them down, small team work together. So think about the first point here, microservice. For microservice, think about this. As I mentioned before, Amazon.com or a lot more company, they have the big giant team, developer team, work together to, in the application lifecycle, we have the build stage, build your artifact, build your container, containerized application, Docker image, and then you test, release, and then keep monitoring. Okay, so there are so many in the big monolithic application. So the life cycle is so long, very hard to change, and then one fail affect the others. So by using microservice, as I mentioned, break them down into small, decouple, own team, small team, own the small project, own the small part. So the good thing, let's take a look on the good thing related to the microservice. So it is functional. Okay, we just do one thing, all right? And then we deploy separately. So each different microservice, they may use different programming language. Suppose this guy, they're good in Python, and the other, they are good in Java, and some other, they are good in Node.js. It is very good. You can choose your own language or even different version. Maybe some people use Python 2 point something. The other team, they are relatively new. They want to use 3.8 Python. It's okay. And all these services talk to each other using, for example, API call or messaging service. All right. The most important is do not go through backdoor. Let's say here we have a database. Do not directly touch the database because this is tight couple. Suppose we want to change the database, then you affect the others. So do not use backdoor. Use the proper API interface talk to each component, and then integrate it together and focus on different purpose. You focus just on your small thing, and then we don't save the data inside those microservices. Consider those as stateless. So your state, your user state, you can store in external like DynamoDB, like NoSQL, Elasticache, Redis. So save your object, your data, your database external. All right, and then you can choose your own technology, your programming language for your microservice. And then you can also implement some serverless. Maybe here we can use Lambda Function, and there we can use DynamoDB, and there we can use API Gateway, Connect2, and S3 as well. So this is the example of microservice. By using that, break them down into small team, developer and operator join together, so they have their own life cycle. That's why, as I know, since 2018-19, Amazon almost every second they have new features because they have millions of microservices work together. That's why so many update, new features, fix the bug, to your customer. Okay, so let me just say another example related to microservice and monolithic here. Once again, when you want to buy, let's say, a notebook, you go to the homepage and then check the statistic and then check the suggestion. Suppose you find something really want to buy, shopping cart, order, inventory, and then delivery. You use save all the data into the single big giant database like Oracle. But by using microservice, the good thing, the benefit is that we can use different database for different purpose. And then actually, it is very easy for you to scale up. Let's say in your left-hand side, you want to add more resources to shopping cart. It is very hard to do so. You can add resources to the machine, to the virtual machine, but not particularly to the shopping cart. But here, you can add resources directly to the shopping cart, and you can even change. Let's say today I use DynamoDB, tomorrow I use Elasticache, maybe cheaper. Maybe tomorrow we have new technology, easier to change, much easier to test. We don't need to test the whole big giant server, but just anything related to that service. So if anything go down, it will not affect the other party, especially you use some managed service. So that's the benefit of using microservice. And now I'm going to show you a technical demo related to microservice. So let me show you the diagram here. You know, when I teach developing class in Adabas, we actually build this application. Every single lab, we build a small part. As I want to show you in the application, the end user log in to an application, and that application is just store your notes. Okay, store your notes. And then first of all, we visit the website, and the website we host on S3. S3 is a simple storage service, actually store your object, but you can use S3 to create a website. All right, and then not everybody can access our resources. We need authentication. You need to type account and password. Then we can integrate, use the Connect2. Okay, so we need to log in with the account password. And then after that, in the website, you see the notes, you see the button. Suppose you click a button. Let's say I want to create a note. All right, let's say, how are you? All right, so actually, the API gateway handle your request. This is HTTP request. Maybe this is a put request, post request, get request, delete request. So at the back end, we can no longer use the EC2 server. Actually, we can use the Lambda function. All right, let's say this one, we use a Lambda function. Suppose you click create the node and type the node, and then install in DynamoDB. And then next, you can search, you can list, you can delete, you can even dictate, read the node, and we have performance. And in AWS, Amazon, we have the Poly, the service. Poly is actually text to voice. Okay, so let me show you this demo. The key takeaway, the key thing here is that we don't use any server. All right, we don't use EC2, we don't use virtual machine, just everything microservice and serverless technology. So if I go into this Polynote application, it's just application. As I see that the website is coming from S3. All right, if you want to take a look, my backend, so let me log in again. Yeah, it is timeout. So when I log in again to my S3, as you can see, this is the bucket to host the web application. You see the index HTML, and then some JSON, some yeah, the website is related to. So I need to submit the credentials. So let's say this is student and my password. And after you log in, you can see the notes, right? Those notes are stored in DynamoDB. I can show you in DynamoDB once again, all the section timeout. So as you can see, I got 5 nodes. Okay, DynamoDB is NoSQL. So if I go back to here, it's actually stored in the database. What I can do is I can click the button. Let's say, hello, how are you? All right, and suppose I click add. You see, to the user point of view, it is just like interact with a website. And now the backend is serverless, it's microservice. When you type something, go back to DynamoDB, click the refresh, you see the data, the node already there. All right. We can also update the node, like hello, how are you? I am Brian. Okay, you can update the node. You can search the node. Say, for example, you search. So this is just the API call. Okay, you can find your node. All right, so you can also dictate the node, read the node. All right, so there is a button here. Okay, suppose I click play and then text to voice, and I need to move my mic to the speaker.
Hello, how are you?
Again.
Brian. Hello, how are you? I am Brian.
Okay, so this is dictate the node, and you can even change the voice. Suppose you like British and then a girl. All right, let me show you once again.
Hello, how are you? I am Brian.
Okay, so as you can see, this is a full features application. And then the backend, actually, we use API gateway and Lambda function. For API gateway, it handles the API call. When you go to the website and then make a get API call, and then you run the Lambda function, as I can show you in the Lambda function. For those who are not familiar with API gateway, actually, when you make the request, you go from the method request, and then you see the right-hand side is the Lambda function. So for this API request, I trigger the Lambda function and send back the response. Suppose this is a success, 200 response. And if you got 400, 403, 404, 500 error, how you are going to handle? We can use the API gateway for the API call. Actually, anything happen in AWS account is API call. Your application can also do something similar. And then for the function, actually here, you can see I got different function. Some of them related to search, and let me zoom in a little bit. Some of them related to list, dictate, and then also delete your notes. Okay, so this is a microservice web application, full features with all these components together. All right. The key takeaway is we don't need server. All right, just small features, small function, do one thing. We don't need a big giant monolithic server. So that's related to microservice. And next, in the process area, we talk about CI/CD. So what is CI/CD? CI means continuous integration. All right, and then CD, we have two meaning. One of them is continuous delivery, and the other is continuous deployment. All right, so first of all, in our life cycle, application life cycle, infrastructure life cycle, we have code, okay, the application code, maybe your Ruby, Python, Java application. And then we will have build stage. These are the stage. Okay, write your code and then build your artifact. Likely nowadays, we build a containerized image, containerized application. And then, of course, once again, we need to test. And as you can see, CI focus on the earlier stage. From you write the code, build the artifact, and then also test the code. And the CD focus on the remaining, all right, the whole process, like provision. Okay, we can provision a new environment and then roll out, deploy those updates, provision the AWS resources, storage, database, network, and then your logic, and then deploy to the new environment, the production environment, and keep monitor. So the difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment is that in the AWS point of view, in continuous delivery, we have actually somebody, Superman, to approve. All right, maybe very experienced engine or the architect, senior architect. So before we roll out to product, we need some approval. But if you can achieve fully continuous deployment, it means you just need to change the code, and then everything happen automatically. We already build, we already test, we already provision and push out to the production environment. So if you can do, in our DevOps training 3-day, the last lab, we will do something like this. Okay, what you need to do is just change your code. Could be, once again, application code, and could also be infrastructure code as well. All right, so these are the major release process. And think about the source stage. We might focus on your source code. Likely, many people store the source code in GitHub, but GitHub is just one choice. We can store in Bitbucket and then GitLab. In Adabas, we can store in code commit. All right, this is just related to your source code. In the source code, the most important is version control and permission. Who can change, who can commit to your branch, to your master, to your main branch. So I will show you a little bit demo later. And then in the build stage, we focus on compile the code. Suppose you are still using Java, .NET to write your application. Compile those code and then got your artifact ready to deploy. We can actually, in AWS environment, deploy your code to EC2 instance, deploy to on-prem. We just install the agent and deploy to those on-prem. And then we can also deploy to Lambda Function as well. So here we focus on testing the unit tests, test the small features, and then nowadays a lot of people, a lot of application build a containerized image. And then of course, test is very important. Okay, we hopefully test 100% of the code, and then we have the load test, integrated test, stress test, penetration test, security test. Many years before, I really heard this comment, this sentence so many times. I also have some developer team, a few people, before the cloud environment, in the on-prem, maybe VMware environment, maybe Hyper-V environment. So the developer writes some web application, and it works really fine in the testing environment. And then we want to push out to the world, all right, so that you can download from the App Store, from Google Play. And after that, finally, when we push out, we find some bug. And then the developer say, oh, we don't have the problem in my environment. Okay, I don't know why it didn't work in the production environment. All right, but the most important is the development environment and the production environment is different. All right, it works fine in your environment, doesn't necessarily work fine in the production environment. But by using cloud, you can actually create the development environment, testing environment, production environment exactly the same because of infrastructure as code, right? You can use the same technology or even the same size. And after you finish all the testing, you can terminate the whole testing environment. Okay, that's the beauty of using cloud. And then, once again, how we are going to roll out, deploy to your production, it really depends. You can in-place upgrade, you can build another environment, shift the traffic to the new environment. You can roll step by step, your choice. We have different methods related to deployment. And finally, we need to monitor our infrastructure. Anything goes wrong, we don't just monitor the server because now we use microservice. We use actually the containerized application. So how you are going to monitor is another consideration. So the CI/CD tools. Now we take a look at tools. Okay, before we mentioned people and process, microservice, CI/CD, infrastructure as code, and the tools. Once again, tools is the least important. And I'm going to do some demo related to the tools area. Many people interest in the tools, how we can carry out the DevOps, how we can going to do the CI/CD. But as you can see here, different stage. Just for example, this is just some example. For the code area, you can use GitHub, you can use Bitbucket, you can use GitLab. But in Adabas, of course, in my demo, I'm going to use the code family, code commit. Code commit is just like GitHub. It's Git repository provided by Adabas. So you use the same Git command to interact with the code commit. And then in the build stage, actually, we build the artifact. Actually, you can use code build, not only for build stage, but also we build the same thing environment to test, right? But now we can use code build to build actually the container image, okay, containerized image. But third party, you may use TeamCity, you might use Jenkins. It is your choice. Test, there are so many things you can do in the test stage. Maybe latency test, maybe UI test, device test. So see if your application run on Android, HTC, and then iPhone. Is it work? So next, we are going to provision. Of course, here we are going to talk about CloudFormation. But I know a lot of company like interest by using Terraform. Terraform is another company. HashiCorp help us to have high-level abstraction. Many people like it because in CloudFormation we write 1,000 line, maybe in Terraform less than 100. Okay, 50, 40 line, we can do something similar, high-level abstraction. Terraform can work with other cloud as well, Google, Azure. So it's very good for people to start studying Terraform. And then deploy, just how you roll out. You might use Adabas service, code deploy to EC2, Lambda Function, on-prem, or even to the Kubernetes. Okay, but likely in Kubernetes, later on I will show you a little bit demo related to Kubernetes. You can use FluxCD, Argo. These are just some famous name. There are a lot more choice. And then for monitoring in Adabas, you can use CloudWatch, but normally CloudWatch monitor your server. All right. For container, you can use Prometheus, open source, or in CloudWatch, there is a relatively new features, Container Insight, to monitor your containerized application, your Kubernetes. And then on top here, we can see the tools related to orchestration. Many people use Jenkins, especially in their on-prem environment, or Ansible. And then if you are using cloud, some other, they prefer GitLab to do the orchestration. And in Adabas, we have the code pipeline. All right, so we have so many terms here. Let me do some demo related to this topic. So now go back to my environment. Yeah, before timeout, let me log in everything before I do the demo. Now I have a container image, all right, and then store in ECR. For those who don't know what is ECR, you may know what is Docker Hub. Docker Hub is just a Prepay, a external website, store your container image. You can think about, you can imagine ECR is AWS version of Docker Hub to store your container image. And then how did I build this ECR? Normally, to build a container image, you need a Dockerfile, all right? And then you build the Docker image. And instead of build a Dockerfile myself, I put it into code commit. Remember, we talk about code commit is Git repository. So if you go to this repository, you can create your repository. Now I have a few repository. One of them related to my application code. And then the other is related to the infrastructure code, the Kubernetes. Suppose I go to my application code, it is pretty straightforward. So here, I got only 4 files. So let me show you in the Docker file. In the Docker file, what I did is from ngx, okay, it's just, you can consider this is a website, but actually this is application controller. So it doesn't matter. So I don't want to build everything from scratch for myself. I just borrow because we can use this as the website. And then what I did is I copy 2 files into this, let's say, web server. All right. So a bit lazy for me. So in order to take a look in another file, I got the 2 files. One is index.html. Okay. So as you can see, just a page with light blue background color, and we have a link. Go to page 2. Okay, just imagine a single page. I have a link. Click the link. Go to page 2. Just that's it. And then take a look on page 2. Is just a little bit similar. Page 2, light green, the color, and then this is page 2, and I have a link. Go back to the first page. So in my repository, as you can see, I have a Docker file build using the ngx, copy these 2 into the web directory. Okay, and then here we have a build spec.yaml. Actually, the code build will read the instruction of this file. Okay, if I go inside and show you this build spec, actually we have build stage, we have pre-build stage. Before you build, you do something. Let me show you here. What I'm going to build is actually I log in to the ECR. This is the ECR. All right. It's a little bit longer than Docker Hub because Docker Hub you have unique ID, but in Adabas you have the account number and the region. Okay, just like Docker Hub, we log in to your ECR, and then we start build. Okay, so the build actually use the Docker file. Okay, and then after that, post build, after you finish building the container image, it will upload. The correct word is push back to the repository. Okay, so log in, build your image, push back to the Docker repository, the ECR. And then the code build, we have the project. You know, before this webinar, I do a lot of tests, and I hit some limit. All right, I can show you some fail because I pull so many times. I hit some rate limit. All right, so hopefully when I do this demo, everything works fine. Just before this webinar, I tried so many times and then hit some limit. And then I have the code pipeline. The code pipeline actually, let me show you, is the orchestration. It's the key for the automation. When you create a code pipeline, you can create different stage. Okay, so the first stage is we detect the change in your repository. As you can see here, I detect the code commit. So if anything change in the code commit, then yeah, I start building the process. Okay, so I start build the Docker image. All right, as you can see here, take a look on code commit. Anything change, I click out the build process without human intervention. Okay, actually, I can show you a little bit more. If you go inside, you can add more stage. I just want to show you. If you click add a test stage, all right, you should put the test stage at the back, but doesn't matter. I just want to show you what we can do. So let's say this is a test stage. You can really find a lot of option in the orchestration. Okay, you can have manual approval, just like the continuous delivery. We need somebody approval in order to roll out to the production. And then you can integrate, as I mentioned before, with some third-party tools like Jenkins, like some other third-party tools. And then for test stage, we really have a lot of choice. Okay, we can use code build to do the test. We can integrate it with device farm. For the past 1 or 2 years, I go to many other customers' office. I really see a room. They have many mobile device. Okay, Android, Windows Phone, Apple, Sony, and a lot of phone, different version, to see whether my web application, mobile application work in those devices. But by using Adabas, you can use this managed service. Okay, you don't need to buy so many different devices to do the testing. And then you can integrate it with Jenkins, Meter for latency tests. For your UI tests, you can use Ghost Inspector. These are some of the third party. And for the source stage, you can use code commit, or you can use GitHub Bitbucket. So there are really a lot of choice. Let me show you here in my demo. Now, as you know, I have the application code, I have code build, but instead of manually check the code build, I will use the pipeline. The most important is automatically. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I connect to a dev machine. This is the dev machine. This machine. Okay. I already create a little bit before the webinar. And then if I go to this dev machine, it's just a machine, Linux machine on Adabas on internet. And then let me run some script. Here, suppose I run this command, docker info, containerized application. That's why we install Docker, all right? And as you can see, I already installed this version, 20.10, and then what are the storage and what are the kernel, all right? This is just the kernel, 5.10. And then what I'm going to do is now I don't have any Docker image. If I run this command, Docker image ls, I have nothing. Okay, and then Docker ps, I don't have any container. Okay, you can consider a Docker image is just like the golden image of your virtual machine, the template, the AMI to create a virtual machine. For virtual machine world, we have the template to create a virtual machine. In the containerized application, the world, here we have Docker image to create a container. Okay, yeah, the container is just kernel virtualization. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to log in to my ECR, just like you log into Docker Hub. Okay, you use Docker login and you use the same Docker login, but the command is a little bit longer. If you don't know how to write this command, actually you can copy and paste. Okay, let me show you here. In the ECR, in my repository, actually the command is here. If you go to this view push command, this is the exact command I run. I just copy from here. Okay, ECR, login, Docker login, blah, blah, blah. But in order to do that, you need to have permission, all right? Of course, my machine, I already set the permission. So after I log in, so here, we successfully log into the ECR, just like you log in to the Docker Hub. And then after you log in, I still don't have any image. All right. So next, I'm going to pull the image from my ECR, just like you pull the image from Docker Hub. As you can see here, latest, all right, my app, the latest image. So when I pull the image, it takes some time, live demo. And then here, I can see now I have the Docker image, right? And then, yeah, I don't have any container yet. Yeah, you see, I don't have any container. And then it is just like I go to the machine, the dev machine, pull the latest container image. All right, the container image built by the Dockerfile. And then next, what I'm going to do is I run this container image. Okay, Docker run. All right, and then just a name, and inside port 80, and then outside also port 80, and yeah, use this image, all right, to run the container. So after I run it, as you can see, Docker PS -a, there is a container running. Okay, so you can do it together with me. You can help me test it out. For this machine, it's now running in the internet. If you type this IP address, can I give you the IP address? I don't think so. It doesn't matter. You can do it together with me. Okay. So if you can access, just type the IP address. Let me make it larger. 54. You can type it together with me. Just an IP address. 54.179.176.126. All right. So if you type this IP address in your browser, in your phone, anywhere in the world, as long as you can access to the internet, okay, you can do the same as with me. You can access the website that I mentioned before. We got 2 pages only, all right, and then the first page is light blue, and then we have a page, go to another page 2, and then light green, all right. So you can access, just type that IP address, and then what I'm going to do now is, suppose I have new features. Of course, here I just changed something. What I can do is I can use another browser, go to AWS. I want to show you the version control and how we can change the code. So let me log in using a Git user. Okay, this is a scenario related to some junior admin want to change something. So this junior admin use my AWS account, the account number. Okay, this is the account number. Excuse me. So, and log in using Git user. It's just a dedicated user. He have permission, a Git user, all right, in my AWS account. I no longer use a very high privilege user. So let me go to the code commit and show you. In the code commit, suppose I want to change something. Okay, we talk about CI, continuous integration. We add new features. We just change the code. All right, CI/CD, right? So here, yeah, I have actually the page 2. The page 2 is green color, light green. Okay, as you see it before. Instead of just commit the change to this code, it is better for you to change something in a branch. Okay, so I go to branch. Now I got a main branch. I can create another branch. Let's say branch 1. And then from main branch. So we don't directly change your production code, right? We change somewhere else. So in the branch 1 that I just create, as you see, it's just copy, still light green. Now let me change to yellow. All right. So change to light yellow. This is git user add example.com. All right. Of course, if you're really a developer, you might use the git command to change. But here, I just use the console, much easier to do it. So I already changed the branch run. However, if you go back to the main branch, we didn't change the main branch. Okay, this is the production code, right? And then suppose, yeah, after all the tests, you find that it is safe to push to your production environment to build the container image. All right, so we can create a pull request. So this user want to merge the one to main branch. And before we really merge, we compare. Suppose now to yellow. All right, just imagine this is kind of new features. And then here you can see the change related to your code, or from light green to yellow. Is it okay? If this is okay, then we create the pull request. Of course, maybe this one is just the Git user is junior admin. All right, so suppose he want to merge, really merge, and it really depends on the permission. In my environment, I deny the junior admin to merge the statement. That's why you can see it's not authorized, because this is junior admin. I need some high privilege people to authorize. All right. So let me go back to my higher privilege user. This is just a scenario. Many people, many companies do something like this. So go back to code commit, and if you see the pull request, oh, maybe you can see the Git user really want to merge. We didn't have the approval yet. We can actually add some approval rules. Let's say you need to have 2 senior manager approve together in order to commit to the main branch. Because once you commit to main branch, everything will be built automatically. Okay, so the most important is how can we protect our code? And then if I click inside here, you know, I am by rule, right? I'm the higher privilege user. And then now I click merge. Before, the junior user cannot do that. Now, when I click this merge, as you can see, I no longer have the branch one because already merged into your main branch. And then if you take a look on the page 2, you see now become yellow. And we say the most important is everything have been done automatically. If I go to code pipeline, okay, I didn't do anything in the code pipeline. I just click to code pipeline. Can you see that? It is just now detected some change in your source code and then start building the container image. Hopefully, it can finish the building because for the previous hour, I do many pull and then hit some limit related to Docker Hub. But anyway, I hope you understand what I'm doing. And if luckily I can success because I do so many pull requests and hit the limit related to Docker Hub. If you want to know, suppose I got error, yeah, I'm using free Docker Hub account. I got limit related to number of pull for the past 6 hours. All right. So let's see whether it's success or not. But actually, you got the idea. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete all the container image. Now I have, yeah, this is the container. Yeah, let me just remove it. Docker container. Let me finish this and then we will take a short break. Stop first. And then this is the ID. Stop the container. And then remove the container. Remove the container. So if I run this ps command again, no longer I have the container. I just want to clear everything. And then Docker image remove this one. Okay. So, and then after that, Docker image ls. Yeah, I have nothing. And take a look back here in my code pipeline. Oh, luckily, okay, it's success now. All right, because maybe the number of maximum rate is already a few hours before. So as you can see here in my ECR, then the time now here, all right, is the latest time. Yeah, so I have the new container image build, and let me just pull it again. Okay, if I run the pull command again, Docker run. Okay, it download once again from the ECR. Okay, and then go back to the page and refresh. You see, once again, if you can access the same IP address, 54, 179, 176, 126, then you see the color is changed. All right, I just changed the code and everything happened automatically. Of course, here I am showing you the part of the CI. In the real life, if we have Kubernetes, we can do the CD part push to your production environment. All right. So we just changed the source code, and the new container image is built automatically. I hope this demo let you understand a little bit more rather than just talking. So what we did is just change the source code. Okay, so I think we better take a 6 minutes break here, and then I have a timer. All right, Lila, can
Yeah.
you?
Yes, we will go ahead and take that 6-minute break. But while we do that, we would love to just take a quick moment to launch a poll and find out how many people might be interested in taking some additional training related to today's webinar. So just take a moment, answer that really quick, and we will be back in 6 minutes. Okay, welcome back, everyone. That is our 6-minute break. Hopefully, everybody had a chance to stretch their legs and get back. Brian, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, you should be able to share your screen again. There, yep, there we are.
Okay. Did you see my screen now? All right.
Yes, I did. And
Okay.
we got 100% of participants voted in our poll. So I just want to thank everybody for participating in that. That is really helpful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's keep going. Yeah, I just showed you the CI part related to actually the deployment. Okay, and then so come back here. If you are not really familiar with here, we have the code commit. What I did is just I changed the code in the code commit, and then automatically the code pipeline trigger. There is a commit in your main branch and start building the container image. All right. And then this is related to the CI part. Of course, you can add your test stage, integrated test, the whatever security test. Then so here, what we are going to do is actually we can also show you the CD part, the Flux CD. Okay, you know, in the break time, I already configure a little bit related to the Kubernetes Flux CD. And then let me finish the configuration. I just want to show you before my demo is using the EC2 instance. And once again, in order to prepare this webinar, I already create the Kubernetes cluster. Kubernetes is really hit. Yeah, so not only in Adabas, but in other cloud, in the on-prem environment. So hopefully we get some experience, learn the Kubernetes. Yeah, you know, I also deliver a lot EKS 3-day training related to Kubernetes around the world. So if you take a look and you can see the Kubernetes, I have 2 nodes already. Show you in the console here. This is the dev machine. I remote to that machine to install the Docker, pull the image, and then run the containerized application. Not just in my dev machine. Suppose now I want to continuous deployment, and let's say I have a production environment running Kubernetes, and you can see there are 2 nodes running. These 2 nodes are inside my Kubernetes environment. Let me show you a little bit more on Kubernetes. So if I go to the EKS, the CI/CD, right? I already have the cluster, okay, built before we have the webinar, all right? Because it takes some time. And I go to configuration page, you can see I have 2 worker nodes running the container, all right? This is the 2 node cluster. And then, yeah, as you can see now, I don't have any container running, okay? Crypt control, get the deployment. I don't have anything, all right? What we can do normally, if you're familiar with Kubernetes, you can use crypt control, the command, the YAML to create a container. But instead of doing that, I want to use, once again, the code in the code commit to control the infrastructure code. So if you go back to my code commit, the Google Chrome, this one, if you go back to my code commit, all right, and then apart from the application code, we also have the infrastructure code. The infrastructure code here stay that we are going to create some deployment. All right. Actually, it's just the container, same container image. All right, 2 replica, and it can also create the load balancer as well. Yeah, here. Okay, the load balancer. And if I show you in my EC2 area, actually, I don't have. I have just 1 single load balancer. Okay, in my environment. just one. All right. So let me do the configuration. Just a few more steps. Yeah, if you are interested, please join our EKS training. Okay, DevOps training. We have really some configuration related to that. And then let me finish the configuration. And yeah, just run some command related to Flux CD. Okay, and then it is creating the Flux container. And this Flux container actually pull the image, the code from my code commit account. All right. So after this, and then yeah, just a couple more command to run for me to configure the Kubernetes. Okay, I think finish. All right. So if I run the get deployment, as you can see, okay, before when I run the get deployment, I have nothing. Okay. Now after a few command to configure the Flux CD, if you are interested, you can always go to fluxcd.io. Okay, the installation, how we are going to do the configuration. But once again, in our 3 days training, DevOps, EKS, we have the lab to do it. So if you take a look here now, I have the deployment. I have the container up and running. Okay, I didn't write the crypt control command to create the container. It's everything from my source code. Let me show you, and I can actually change the source code. It takes around 3 to 5 minutes in order to take effect. So if I go to the code commit, yeah, and then the Kubernetes config, and then here, let's say deployment. Okay, now I have 2 replica, and suppose I change to let's say 8. Okay, it will create more container for me. And suppose I'm Brian at example.com, commit directly. Okay, it takes some time. Okay, so later on, after around 5 minutes, okay, you can see here become 8. What I did is I just changed the code, the infrastructure code. That's it. All right, everything happened automatically, and it pushed out to my production environment, and that's part of the CD. Okay, continuous deployment. Okay, so that's we can come back and check later. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. I hope this demo showed you the concept related to CI and CD. Use code commit, code build, code pipeline, and then Flux CD to make this everything automatically. Once again, you can use other tools. It's your choice, but I just choose mainly from Adabas, the tools. So next part is related to automation. Remember, we talk about process, CI/CD, microservice. I already showed you some demo. And then the later part is automation. Okay, automation. What is the benefit of using automation? First of all, reduce human error. If you ask a guy to create 2 servers, likely no problem. If you ask this IT admin to create 2,000 servers, likely type something wrong. So avoid human error, typo, mistake. And then automation, create the resources much faster than human. All right. Normally, it takes just 10 minutes, 15 minutes to provision a very big infrastructure. Even if I use Kubernetes, it takes around half an hour, a little bit more than half an hour, and then finish everything. So we can create multiple identical environments. Remember, before we talk about testing and production. So if they are identical, we can be sure that everything running in test is the same as running in production. All right. So once again, we have version control, permission control. The most important is protect our source code, and then the infrastructure. We also treat them as code. Use the code to change to delete everything. After the webinar, I need to delete everything. One single command, I can delete everything. All right. Actually, under the cover, they use CloudFormation. So the infrastructure as code, basic concept, basic understanding. We use code to create the AWS infrastructure. That's the key to use AWS. All right. And then you can create actually any resources like the VPC, like the subnet, and then load balancer, NAT gateway, just whatever resources that you want to create. Okay, so let's take a look in this section related to the automation. We use actually CloudFormation, and we hopefully understand the terms. What is CloudFormation template, and then what is parameter, stack, update? We can import resources, drift detection. There are really a lot of things related to CloudFormation. Okay, so first of all, what is a CloudFormation template? A CloudFormation template is just a file. Okay, it could be YAML file, and it could also be JSON file. It's just the format. All right. Do you like indentation or the open close bracket? So inside this template, there could be many things. Only one element is required, and that is the resources. Okay, resources is required in the CloudFormation template. All other things are optional. You can use parameter, you can use mapping, you can use condition. The resources is what we are going to build using this template. Okay, could be an EC2 instance virtual machine, could be S3 bucket, could also be some other service like Kubernetes cluster, VPC, any resources that you want to create in the AWS cloud. Okay, so in the CloudFormation, another terms is stack. What is CloudFormation stack? Stack is, you can see, just resources, or many people say collection of resources. Okay, so you can create a lot of resources by using the template. When you input the template in the CloudFormation service or CloudFormation engine, it helps you to create a stack. And you can also import the existing resources to your CloudFormation. And now let me show you some demo related to CloudFormation. So when I go to this service, CloudFormation, infrastructure as code, and then as you can see, actually, I have a lot of CloudFormation template. Just right before the webinar, I create a Kubernetes cluster. It takes 30 minutes. I just use the command, and it use under the cover CloudFormation template to create the Kubernetes cluster, and then to create the worker node. And then my another polynode application also come from CloudFormation. If you don't know how to start, you can start like this. Go to create stack, and there is already some template inside your AWS console. Okay, let's say, suppose you want to build a WordPress application. Okay, you can create a simple, just a single machine, or multi-AC, already highly available. Let me use this as an example. And actually, there is designer. When you click inside the designer, there is a funny diagram, okay, for you to understand. Okay, here you can see we build a lot of things like the web server, as you can see here, the load balancer, auto scaling, security group, and even we have database. And if you like JSON, here you can select JSON. And under this area, the template, you see we have already more than 400 lines of code. All right, if you like YAML, just click here, and then you can see this is the YAML, even longer, more than 700. So we can modify from this template. Inside this template, as I mentioned, there must be a component resources. Okay, as you can see here, resources, what you are going to build. Okay, here I'm going to build the load balancer, the subnet, the VPC, the EC2, etc. Okay, this is required. And if you want to build it from scratch, let me show you how. So let me do it from scratch here. Let's say I'm going to build it using the designer. Okay. And then now, as you can see, I have nothing. Okay, I don't want to use the template. I want to build it from scratch. And then if you go to template, there is really almost nothing. And suppose I want to create a VPC, virtual network, and then also the subnet, and then a database and a machine, EC2 instance. How can we do it? We can drag. Yeah. Now here, I let you understand a little bit more related to CloudFormation. So I go to Elastic Compute Cloud, the EC2 here. Okay. First of all, we can create a VPC. Just say, for example, VPC here. Okay. What you need to do is just drag to the right-hand side, and can you see that the CloudFormation template already they help you to write. Okay, as you can see, resources, you are building the VPC, and this is the generated name. If you don't like this name, you can change it. And then after that, we need subnet, right? So our machine actually locate inside the subnet, not directly on VPC. So you just drag the subnet inside the VPC. The VPC contain the subnet, and then the subnet contain our machine. All right, so you can actually next drag the instance here, okay, to the subnet. All right, so this is the instance. And if you want database, you can drag the RDS. We look for relational database. RDS is here. Excuse me. So this is the relational database together with inside the subnet. All right, this is how we can start using the CloudFormation template. And then you can modify, you can do it from scratch, but at the end, they are just JSON and YAML. Okay, so let's go back to our PowerPoint. Okay, excuse me. So you can import the resources into your CloudFormation template. And then the best way to use CloudFormation template is actually instead of using a very big giant template, all right, 1,000 line, 2,000 line. No, it is better for us to make it using layer approach. So as you can see the icon, okay, here means some layer. All right, so using AWS Cloud, we might have different team member. Some of them related to security. Okay, actually yesterday I delivered security training. So for the security team, we identify the permission. What permission do we need? And then maybe we have the network team. Okay, the network team handle. Let's say now this project, I want this kind of permission, and I need public subnet because this is public facing. All right, or maybe another project, I just need private subnet. It's internal to our staff user. All right, so another template related to subnet, maybe some other template related to database, and then some other template related to backend and front end. So instead of a very big CloudFormation template, we have multiple stack, and then we next together. Okay, call those components. So maybe this time we use this choice, and then other time, other project, we select other option. All right, so this is best practice, easier to change. Just break it down, just like microservice. The CloudFormation is also the same. Suppose you want to change anything, it is highly recommended that you don't change directly to the end resources. Everything change, we should also use CloudFormation template. All right, we issue the change set. Let me show you where to do it. Is go back to CloudFormation, and then suppose let's say my Kubernetes cluster, I want to change something. we use the code to change. We go to here, create change set, all right, and then edit the template in the designer or replace the template using another JSON or YAML. The good thing of using change set is that we can preview the change first. Okay, go back to our PowerPoint here. My PowerPoint. Okay, here. So we can create a change set and then see what resources will be affected. All right. Maybe yeah, the security group will be changed. Maybe the instance type will be changed. The load balancer will be changed. So before you really roll out the change, you take a view first, and after that, you can actually roll out the change. Okay, and use CloudFormation to change them. It is the safest way to do so, because anything happen, we can roll back, we can have version control, we don't manually go inside and change all those resources. Okay, so by using change set, it's like this. Originally, we have the original stack. Suppose I want to change, add more machine load balancer, auto scaling, anything change using the change set, and then we view it first, okay, before we roll out. And then if this is approved, no problem, then we use CloudFormation. So the infrastructure we keep in this way to make those change. Yeah, that's the best practice. And then what are some other benefits of using CloudFormation? This is really good features. It's called drift detection. I can tell you that for the past 2 years, I deliver a lot of security training. I really meet many CTO, CIO, CISO, CSO, and after they heard about these features, maybe originally they built everything from scratch manually in the console command line, not using CloudFormation. But after heard about these features, all right, they quickly change to build everything from CloudFormation, modify back to CloudFormation. Let me tell you why. You know, as we mentioned, we can use CloudFormation template to build our resources, right? You know, in 2017, yeah, one of the CSO asked me this question. Okay, and at that time we don't have drift detection, so we have the golden template. So here we have a lot of security hardening, yeah, the golden infrastructure. And then after you build, if somebody change something in your resources, maybe open the security group to Prepay, allow an encrypted storage, unencrypted traffic. Actually, you have permission. You can go inside and then change something, right? So how can I make sure that the existing environment is equals to the template? And this is what drift detection do. All right, we can run the drift detection in your CloudFormation template to detect whether your resources is drift. All right, modified by what kind of party. So let me show you how to do it. So go back to my CloudFormation console, and then let's say just this Kubernetes. All right, and here we can click detect drift. I just want to detect anything change, anything not matching the template. They are not equal. All right, so if you click detect, normally you take some time. I just quickly view. As you can see, it's drifted. All right, so it is the environment, current environment is not related to the template. And then you can go inside and take a look. Or what is, which resources, which specific resources is not identical, okay, to the template. And as you can see, or somebody modified the security group, really some issue. Is it open to Prepay? You can actually click inside the security group and then take a look on what do we allow to the Prepay access, okay? And you know, for many security team, this is a very good feature, good news to see whether their environment goes wrong. And then another company, another student asked me this question before. How can I know at night from, let's say, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Somebody do something wrong? Okay, let's say create so many machine, and then Bitcoin mining, and then after that change back to normal, change back to compliance. Okay, how can I identify that? And then this is the features related to AWS config. AWS config together with CloudFormation drift detection. All right, it's really good match. So if you go to here, there are so many rules. I'm not going to spend so much time here, maybe in some other security webinar. So here we got more than 200 rules. And if you search the drift detection, as you can see here, since 2019, we have these features. With this drift detection, AWS config, we can have the timeline. All right, anything change in what kind of? Let me show you the timeline. It would be easier for me to explain. So if I go inside in some of the rules, in some of the machine or resources, we can see the resources timeline. Okay, from which day you actually can select the calendar, and then anything change. All right, as you can see, yeah, maybe yesterday 8 p.m. somebody changed something. Okay, what is the config before the change? What is the config after the change? So by using this drift detection together with AWS config, even if your environment drifted for 6 hours, you will know that. All right, it is really good. That's why a lot more company use CloudFormation, change to CloudFormation nowadays. Okay, so let me come back to my demo. As you see, in right after the break, I showed you the CD part. I just changed the source code. All right, and then as you can see, already we have a Kubernetes pod already running. Let me do something very interesting here. Suppose you delete the deployment. Delete deployment. Okay, and then my app deployment. Imagine in the production environment, if some junior admin did something wrong like this, delete. All right, and if he got permission, it related to access control. Okay, so nobody know until some customer or staff report, oh, my microservice, one of them is deleted by junior admin. Okay, so normally you need to spend so much time find out what we did wrong, and then we create those things. But here, because my environment is using the CD part, using the infrastructure code, so what I need to do is just wait. After wait for 5 more minutes, and then come back, you can see the port is coming up once again. Okay, so the CD help us to protect our environment as well for accidental delete. All right, so altogether, CloudFormation, infrastructure as code, CI/CD, microservice work perfectly fine together, together with the Kubernetes as well. All right, so later on, hopefully, maybe around 5 minutes, then it will come back. So let's go back to our PowerPoint. This is another quick features of using infrastructure as code drift detection. And I can tell you what people do now, all right, in real life, all right, instead of write the CloudFormation code themselves, okay, because yeah, people don't like to learn new things, especially the developer. The developer is very good to write the application code, Ruby, Python, Java, Node.js. And then if they want a new environment, they use the CloudFormation, they write the CloudFormation, yeah, maybe spend so much time learn other things, the CloudFormation syntax, parameter, resources. What AWS do is AWS create something really interesting called CDK. Okay, CDK is Cloud Development Kit, is mainly for developer use their strength, use their programming language, Ruby, Python, Java, Node.js, something like that. This is a high-level abstraction to build the CloudFormation template. Just maybe once again 59, almost equals to 1,000 line in the CloudFormation. And some other example, many people, as I mentioned, Terraform. Terraform is another choice. You can write your Terraform code, high-level abstraction, and then build for the CloudFormation template, CloudFormation environment. And some other people use serverless application model. All right, you know, many people nowadays go for serverless. Just like my demo before, the Nodes application, we have API gateway, S3, Lambda Function, and DynamoDB. We have nothing inside VPC, nothing EC2, nothing related to RDS. Then the serverless architecture model, the application model, is very good to build your serverless. Under the cover, there are also CloudFormation template. When I build a Kubernetes cluster, I just use EKS CTL. Okay, one single command, and then I can build a Kubernetes cluster. But under the cover, they are still CloudFormation. Okay, so there are a lot of tools. It's high-level abstraction for you to run the CloudFormation. To the end, you don't necessarily need to directly touch the CloudFormation code. That's the consideration. All right. So this is almost the last part. Yeah, related to monitoring. Remember, we talk about the pipeline. We have the source code. We build, we test, provision, and then deploy and monitoring. Okay, monitoring is also very important. In AWS, you may know that CloudWatch will be used for our environment monitoring, like the EC2. And suppose you are using container, all right, you can also monitor all those container using the Container Insight. Let me show you here. In my AWS account, you can go to CloudWatch. And then, as you can see, yeah, metrics is related to AWS Service, EC2, load balancer, RDS, something like that. And then we have the insight. Okay, if you work with the Container Insight, you know, once again, I prepared in my demo environment. We can build something like that. Okay, so this is my Kubernetes cluster. All right, and if you go inside and you can see the resources, the CPU, the memory is inside your microservice. Okay, inside your containerized application rather than the host. We can actually see which port, which service, which namespace, which deployment, how much resources they are going to spend, how much they spend, and then you can go further to take a look on the resources monitoring. So many things inside that you can see and then analyze and then fine tune your environment. All right. So let me take a look here. I just want to show you one more thing. Remember before, I delete the deployment. All right, and then everything gone. I did nothing. Okay, and then the port, the container comes back. All right, because I didn't change anything in the source code. You accidentally did something wrong in the environment, and it didn't match your code. Okay, everything you change should be changed in the code, and you can see even if somebody do something wrong, those container comes back once again automatically. All right, so it can also help to CI/CD, also help to protect your environment to avoid some manual change. All right, accidental change. All right, so it is really good. Yeah, we should go for this way. Once again, using different tools, your choice. All right, so this is the end of my part. I'm going to pass the section back to Lila. And if you've got any question, please feel free to ask. Lila.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. As always, Brian, you are a wealth of knowledge. So we are going to do a question answer session, but before we get to that, we are going to hear from Tripti. She is going to let us know about some upcoming promotions and event-related courses. So for those of you who do have questions, now is an excellent time to go ahead and pop those into the questions panel. Tripti, are you with us? She is muted.
Yes,
oh,
Leela.
there we go. There we go. I was like, I think she's here.
Yeah, I was actually.
So yeah, so go ahead and get your questions in, and we'll hear from Tripti real quick, and then we will get right to our question answer session.
Okay. Can you just share the?
Oh yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Got
I hope it's
there we go.
visible.
You can share now.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Leela and Brian. So it's always wonderful getting trained with Brian. So it's a wonderful session again he has done for us. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's session. So till the time you are adding your questions to the questions for Brian, so let me just take you over the, and let me just direct you to a package of information you have just received. So as you can see, these are the classes we are having, the upcoming classes with all the schedule you will be able to find over here. And these are some recommended courses you can look for, as well as these are the marketing asserts such as free masterclass. We are having an upcoming discovery day, which will going to give you an introduction to the AWS Cloud. Then we do have the on-demand training, as well as the blogs. You can go check over here, and you will be able to find all these details under the handout section. We have added the handout over here. You can just go through that as well. So like you will able to find other things as well, the promotions, the upcoming webinars we are having, all the information that I will be sharing in just a moment. So you will able to find over on this handout as well. So let me just direct you to our website. So it will be very easier for us. So this is our website, www.netcomlearning.com. So here, if you see, we do have Netcom Plus. So this is a program we are having. Let me just go over there. So yeah, so this Netcom Plus is basically an unlimited benefit training experience you will going to get in this. So if you are looking for a subscription plan, so this Netcom Plus will be the right option for you. If you scroll down, this is the starting package we are having, where you will be going to get all the training related to the vendors like Microsoft, AWS, CompTIA, and many more, as well as the 24-hour access to the Netcom 365 and other benefits you will be going to get over there. So just go through the catalog we are having, the courses we are having, as well as you can always contact us to get more information about that. Next, we have the Learning Passport. So if you have a training budget allocated to your teams, so then Learning Passport you can also have a look into. So this will actually going to give you an experience of unlimited option in the value and flexibility with our prepay training packages. So these are some packages we are having: the standard, plus, premium, gold, and platinum for the learning saving passport, as well as we have same for the voucher passport as well. And do let us know if you have any query about these program. Nextly, let me just go through so on the top, you will going to see the promotion option. So this is the page you will going to land on. So here you will going to find all the programs and the promotion we are having running right now. So we usually always update this. And right now we are having the free AWS training. So basically this is a 2-hour private group training which is actually can be customized according to your need. So if you are interested in taking up a group training, a private group training for your teams, where you want to learn about the AWS cloud, how that can be helpful for you. So just let us know. We can schedule a session for you where you will going to the session which can be tailored according to your needs, whatever you are looking for, and you can go through what type of quality, what kind of training we provide, and then we can actually plan for your further training. So if you want to schedule a session, then you can always fill out the form, or you can also get in touch with us on AWS at netcomlearning.com. Nextly, on this promotion programs page, you will going to find other vendor as well. So if you are looking other than the cloud, you are looking for the networking or the cybersecurity. So we do have for that as well. So go through this promotion section to know the latest promotion and programs we are running right now. Other than that, let me just take you to our vendor page. So when you click on the training, so there is a drop down and you will going to see the courses by vendors. So for AWS, so if you go to the AWS, so this is the vendor page we are having for AWS, where you will going to find all the AWS related information, like whether it's training, certification, courses we are having, the resources we are having for that. So just go to this page and you will able to find all the information that you are looking for. Lastly, I do like you to take to our e-learning page. So this, if you go to the resource, if you go to the e-learning library, so here you will be able to see the AWS e-learning. So this is the page, sorry. Yeah, so this is the AWS e-learning. So this is self-paced e-learning we are having, which have 200 plus courses. So basically these are the very short videos which will going to give you an introduction about the product, about the category you are looking for. So to access these e-learnings, so basically these are free. So just enroll for one of the e-learning. If you click on enroll, there is a form. Just fill out this form, and you will going to get an email on your email address. So there are some steps to how to access the how to access the Netcom 365, where you will going to get the access for all the e-learnings which we are having for AWS, and these are free. So go to these AWS e-learnings videos where you will going to find which will going to find very informative. Lastly, we do have one AWS learning need analysis. So this is a program we are having. So if there you have a lack, if your team has a lack of skill, talent, and you want to fill out that gap, so this is a AWS learning need analysis by AWS, and this will actually going to give you the gap you are having on your team for the cloud skills. And to have this analysis with your team, there you just need to let us know, and we will going to run this with your team. And this is basically an assessment, self-assessment, which will take around 5 minutes to complete. And once the assessment is done, there will be a survey where we will going to identify the AWS skill gaps and recommend the organization as well as the individual the training plan to address those gaps. So these are the things I just wanted to let you know, guys. And if you do want to know some more information or want to connect with our learning consultant who are available 24 hours to assist you, just email us at aws@netcomlearning, and we will going to address those queries. Yeah, so that's all from my end. Thank you, Leela, for giving me time. Thank you, everyone.
Tripti. We appreciate it. We have a bunch of questions already in our questions panel. So let me scan through these really quick. Make sure I'm addressing them in a good order. Let's see. And generally, the question of the hour is if there are any certifications or continuing education credits for today's class. Tripti, can you tell us any more about that?
Yes, so in order to get the certification, you just need to log into the Netcom 365. So basically, you have already enrolled for this session, so you can just go to our Netcom 365 and change your password. You will be able to log in over there and just mark your attendance, and you will going to get your certification from there itself.
Thank you so much. Okay, so our first question besides that is, with the microservice architecture, is it unnecessary complexity sorry, let me try that again. With the microservice architecture, is unnecessary complexity introduced by using many different languages and services?
Actually, it is your choice. It is at the beginning, it will add some complexity because we need to rewrite the code. But after you adapt, I think the benefit will win much over than the other. Of course, you can choose everything with the same language, same version. But since the microservices talk to each other using the API, actually you use the contact point to communicate. Actually, you have your choice using different language. But yeah, once again, it depends on your team. If some of our client, everybody use Java, that's all right. But maybe some other project, you hire some new team, new member, they are good in other language. It is possible to work in microservice. Imagine in monolithic application, we can hardly do that. All right, so it is basically designed. The microservice enable you to do so. Okay, you got some more choice on that. That's my answer.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. Our next question. What is the difference between CloudFormation template and CloudFormation stack?
Okay, CloudFormation template is just a file, JSON or YAML, and we use this file submit to CloudFormation service, the engine, and it helps you to create those resources. And the stack means those resources created by the template. Could be a virtual machine, could be storage, could be database, could be any other AWS service. Okay, so a file and resources is the template and the stack. That's my answer.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm not sure if this was covered or not, but they wanted to know if there was any mention where section is integrated with DevOps, DevSecOps, or the INT, DevSec, INTI, DevSec. You know what they're saying, right?
DevOps is just developer and operator work together. In my area, many people think we should have a Superman to handle all those things. But in AWS, in Amazon's world, it's just very simple. It's just some developer and operator work together. And we talk about DevSecOps, it means developer, operator, and security team. They don't need to be Superman. They just focus on their task, their strength in their own job, work together, small team, so that it is very easy to replace. If you hire a Superman, do everything, handle everything, if this Superman go away, then you will have big problem. So just simple people, team work together in small project. That's DevOps or even DevSecOps. All right, so I hope I can answer your question.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's see. I'm just trying to keep an eye on time. We will take We're almost out of time, so go ahead. If you do have any questions, we're going to wrap up very soon. We'll take maybe one or two more. Can we integrate Jenkins with AWS DevOps?
Yes, the answer is definitely yes. You can suppose you're using code pipeline. You can already see the Jenkins option for you to build or for you to test. And even if many people still use Jenkins to do the orchestration, you have so many plugins in Jenkins. Like you can integrate with AWS code build, you can integrate with AWS code deploy, or even you can use AWS auto scaling to scale your Jenkins server. So the answer is definitely yes, but there are so many parts to integrate to work together. See which orchestration service you are using, which service you are going to use to build, to test, to deploy, but definitely yes.
Thank you. Okay. It looks like we are through our questions today, and we are also out of time. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up by thanking you all for joining us. In addition to today's webinar, we have a lot of informative webinars and events that are coming up. So please go to www.netcomlearning.com/webinars/ to view all of those and the availability and to register for any of them. We want to thank you again for joining us. If you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to us at webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's event to be informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us very soon. Also, feel free to tell your friends and your colleagues about our events, webinars, and other courses. Once again, thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.